Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase with pick-containing rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more and see me shooting a flamethrower. And lastly, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Hertz going viral, not in a good way because, whoops, their AI rental scanner is causing high, frustrating fees. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Adam Ismail, who's a writer at thedrive.com. And they say, quote, Hertz AI scanner charges $350 for tiny dings on rental, and this is going off the rails. More Hertz customers are learning that if you rent a lot within an AI scanner, chances are it'll charge you for the tiniest of things. Ooh, I'm sorry, I should put a visual warning on the screen. You now see is that a Jeep Grand Cherokee? One of the most, it does not look visually appealing. Though it is a Stellantis product, so, actually no, it is saying something. The whole portfolio is probably the most unattractive, but nevertheless, you can see the giant AI scanner around it, scanning it, which, again, is interesting tech, but yeah, people are not liking it thus far. Now, they say, quote, a few weeks ago, we wrote about a Hertz customer in Atlanta who rented their vehicle from a location that used an AI-powered scanner for inspections. The story started with being charged $440 for a small scratch on a wheel gained some attention, and we're seeking similar accounts to hear it out. One case from another, customers are stricken with even more stories. They say that Adam Foley went to LinkedIn to share a story saying that a few hours after returning his vehicle, he received notification that the system found 2 areas of damage of similar size. One was on the car's roof, while the other was on the driver's front side fender. From his additional post, it does appear to be slightly smaller than a dime in diameter, not very deep. He told the Daily Mail that Hertz charged him $350 in response, $80 for each dent, plus $190 in processing and administration fees. That is this secretly owned by Ticketmaster? Jeez Louise, that's a nice way of saying that money's paying for that tech. But yeah, long term will probably be good ROI for Hertz, but people aren't having it right now. They say that, quote, if you followed our latest story involving the wheel scuff, you know that UVA, the firm that produces and operates the scanners, and Hertz like to secure payment of these fees as quickly as possible. They do this by discounting the charge if the customer admits fault and pays within 7 days. Foley said that Hertz offered to knock $65 off the bill immediately. Furthermore, we've heard that contacting a human agent at the company to discuss or contest the charges is very difficult and not possible within a web portal where customers can view and pay for damages. You have to call a separate support line instead. The Hertz doesn't seem to make that very clear, which, yeah, that's one of the biggest frustrations. And I'd say to Amazon's credit, again, their AI and their chatbots are pretty good at fixing things within a minute or two. If you persist, they will give you a human to interact with eventually. As much as I'm not a big fan of Amazon, again, their interaction with getting to human support is pretty darn quick, and you don't have to dig too deep. This is an instance where I call it in my tech company, I say you don't have to worry about, I call it the 1-800-GO-TO-HELL line, because some of these, customer support lines are rudimentary, and it's the worst interaction you have, almost as bad as going to the U.S. Postal Service. Well, maybe not that bad, nothing in life is, but yeah, it's a benefit working with Topping Technologies. You get to work with the founder of the team, 1-800-GO-TO-HELL number, like you have at this Hertz instance. Now, he said that, quote, to protest this fee, it is an automated chat AI experience that does not break to go to a human interaction no matter how many choices you make. You are only given explanations for why you still owe $190. Foley says he won't be renting for Hertz again so long as the current policy is in place. And the ironic thing is that the public might be content with AI-inspected vehicles if Hertz went about this more reasonably. When I wrote about my previous story and subject, there were multiple comments from readers saying that the quick determination of damage and the presentation of visual evidence and the ease of payment were fair to them and removed some of the opaqueness that the rental car companies may engage in during a return, leading to a time-consuming dispute. Hertz knows this too. When we reached out to the company upon our last story, a spokesman told us that the vast majority of rentals are incident-free. When damage does occur, our goal is to enhance the rental experience by bringing greater transparency, precision, and speed to the process, which that's what they're saying. They say transparency and speed are great, but the key issue here is the kinds of flaws the machine is catching, which Hertz turns around and posts triple-digit charges for. A minor bump like the one on the fender of Foley's car could very well slip by a human inspector, and it certainly wouldn't register to a customer. It's not going to aggregate the next renter who's going to get the vehicle for the first time. It's not going to sort damage that the average car owner would drop everything to hire a paintless dent removal to match and fix. These are the sorts of minor, inconsequential wear and tear incidents that naturally happen when the vehicle is passed between hundreds of drivers and passengers over a course of a month. Hell, that ding could have been caused by gravel in the driveway that took a bad hop, or someone wasn't watching when they opened the car door next to the rental in the parking lot. The question is, why is Hertz charging for it? And the reason could be very simple, because it can. Foley also says, quote, I want to make it clear that I think the use of AI is kind of compelling. Use cameras and AI to assess damage and communicate the expectation of payment. It makes sense. Does not make sense is the granularity they are resorted to by going down to negligible damages and creating a humanless system, similar to a process that is focused on checking for true damages, like a broken mirror, would probably make customers shrug and go, you got me, yeah, I broke it in parking and lay it in a garage, and they would pay the fee. I suspect the math of investing such expensive technology indicated that they need to extort levels to get a return on investment. Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking in terms of, again, this is shockingly similar to Ticketmaster, where the ticket might be $20 for a concert, and you end up having like $150 in extra BS charges that they throw on top of it to pay their infrastructure and all their other stuff, their back-end logistics. And I can't think they're doing the exact same thing here. I continue saying, quote, we don't know how much UV-based technology is costing Hertz. When I last spoke to the company, I asked if the locations were rolling out AI scanners, which are exclusively currently at airports, were priced to rent from the Hertz stores. They didn't answer the question. What I'm realizing now is that the AI scanned rentals wouldn't need to be more expensive. They would simply need to catch something and charge for it. Whether Hertz ultimately goes to the trouble of repairing the damage or not and find something very small clearly isn't hard for these AI scanners to do. Which, yeah, if you're only listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Spotify, as I call it, because it's funnier, yeah, I mean, this isn't a small piece of tech. It's akin to almost like a half hula hoop. They stick into the ground. They have cameras all around it. My pronunciation is terrible today. I said camels. They might have these in, Middle East. I don't know yet. But in all seriousness, that's not something that I think right now they'll have it every single, because again, Hertz has lots of locations across the United States, especially. Those machines are costing a pretty penny. But with the long-term ROI, they might eventually get there, because part of this is to replace the human interaction with the customer and having a human walk around the vehicle, which again, humans are inherently, we make mistakes, so does AI, but eventually I think the AI will be trained well enough. And with the granular, right now, people are just pissed off because, again, you feel like you're getting nickeled and dimed. I wonder if they're going to either tune this to be kind of comical to think, but they would tune it to be less accurate, or that they just do not charge these little micro dents, these types of things. But again, eventually, long term, I think this is actually going to be a smart move for Hertz. And again, with the pictures before and after given to the consumer, I feel like it'll be more transparent because, again, depending on where you go with the rental car these days, sometimes, at least Enterprise, when I did that years ago, you just drop off the car and then drop off the keys. And then later, one of their reps walks around the vehicle, which who knows, after you drop it off, someone might come up and ding it. It is less transparency. I think this might be good for the company long term, but let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.